All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division where Terence Crawford is going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Say what you want to say about this channel. We definitely talk about the boxing politics over here. And as it's turning out, it looks like Terence Crawford is going to have two likely outcomes. One, he's going to fight Errol Spence Jr. If he loses to Errol Spence, it's going to be a rematch for a trilogy. If he wins, it's going to be, and this is the scenario that I'm talking about, it's probably going to be Jaron, Ennis, or retire. Jaron, Ennis, or retire, as a series of things have now taken place and statements have been made that tell you powers that be in boxing got that man honed in on that fight. At least that's my take on it and the way that it sounds like it's playing out. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division where Terence Crawford will be rematching Errol Spence Jr. because Errol Spence Jr. exercised his rematch clause. That fight more than likely is going to be at 154 pounds, and a whole lot of people are just assuming Terence Crawford is going to win the fight. I'm not going to argue with that in this video. There's no, it's highly logical to pick Terence Crawford to win the rematch. However, what I'm interested in now is what is going to happen next and how Terence Crawford is getting walked into a fight that could be one of the best fights that we could possibly have in the sport of boxing. And that is a fight with Jaron Boots Ennis, or it's going to retire and end a very, very good career, in my opinion, prematurely, because the things that he says he wants to do are slowly going away as options for him. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a massive amount, especially everybody that supports in the super thanks of videos like this. The little $ in the bottom, it is a way to sponsor videos that we're like you could in a live stream, but in the actual video itself. And it is a great way to sponsor and support this type of content and content that you want to hear going forward. But let's get into this. Terence Crawford beats Errol Spence Jr. and he has a wish list. His wish list includes 3 fighters besides the Errol Spence Jr. rematch. It includes 3 fighters. It included Gervonta Davis, who he said he would like to fight if Gervonta would move to 147. It includes Charlo, who he wanted to fight for the undisputed title at 154. And it includes Canelo Alvarez, who he would like to fight at 168 pounds for the undisputed title at 168 pounds. And there's somebody out there that many boxing fans want to see him fight, but he says he doesn't want to fight because it's a lose-lose for him. And that is Jaron Boots Ennis, who is at 147 pounds, 31-0 with 28 knockouts, and one of the best young fighters that there is in the sport. And it looks like the way that the politics are playing out, that Terence Crawford is going to fight Errol Spence Jr. If he wins, then there will not be a third fight. But if he loses, there will be a third fight. Now, if he wins the fight, then he's going to have 2 main choices he can do. And that will keep him from looking like an absolute duck. And that is to fight Jaron Ennis or retire. And let me explain why I mean that. I listed the 3 options that he said that he wanted because he's looking for the big money fights. At this stage in his career, he's looking for big money fights. The first one is Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is not fighting him because Gervonta Davis has never come to 147, and Terence Crawford's not going down to 135 pounds. The second one, which was Charlo, has just went poof. Because Charlo says that he is not going to be fighting Terence Crawford at 154. He would only fight him at 160. But more importantly said, go fight Jaron Ennis. Charlo's not interested in that fight. And you can just hear it out of when he says those things, it's telling you he's not interested in that fight. And why is that? Because Charlo can feel the exact same way that Terence Crawford feels now, because if he beats Canelo Alvarez, it's up to him to do whatever he wants in his career. And at this point in time, seeing as he was undisputed at 154 pounds and would have fought for undisputed at 168 pounds, 33 years old, 34 going on 34 years old. He too can want nothing but the big fights. And that means he can fight whoever he wants to fight, and not necessarily Terence Crawford, who, unless we see a fight independent of Errol Spence, we don't really know if he's that a big a draw and is really going to bring in a whole lot of extra money to justify the risk Jermell Charlo would be taking fighting him. And so when he says go fight Jaron Ennis, then I believe that he means go fight Jaron Ennis. The other one is obviously Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds also said, who has Terence Crawford fought? He's only beat one guy. And Canelo Alvarez, you know how he moves. Canelo Alvarez is going to fight whoever Canelo Alvarez wants to fight. But one thing Canelo Alvarez does not do is take a lot of back-to-back very difficult fights. He is kind of like Tyson Fury in that regard, even though nowhere near as bad as Tyson Fury, in my opinion, because you see throughout Canelo Alvarez's career, he's taken tough fights. He's taken Gennady Golovkin one. He took the Dimitri Bivol fight. He took the Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight. Right? He's now taking Jermell Charlo fight, which I think is a good fight. Some people may disagree, but I think is a good fight. He's done these things as far as taking tough fights, and he usually takes several other not so tough fights in between. You can expect that. So what that leaves is Terence Crawford, if he's looking for a big money fight, the big money fight is going to be Jaron Ennis. I don't believe that the big money fight is going to be Keith Thurman, and I don't believe the big money fight is going to be Amanda Stanionis as the mandatory. However, and people will say, I'm sure in the comment section, well, Terence, the mandatory for this guy, for Keith Thurman comes before the IBF mandatory, comes before the WBO mandatory. And one thing that I have to always remind people of is that you're allowed to have voluntary fights. You're allowed to petition for voluntary fights. That's not a fight that you cannot make. You do not have to be ordered to fight somebody. Errol Spence was not ordered to fight Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford was not ordered to fight David Avanesyan. He was not ordered to fight Kell Brook. There's a bunch of fights, people that got fights with Terence Crawford and were not mandatory challengers to Terence Crawford. He knows how to fight somebody as a voluntary, and it is perfectly legitimate for him to take Jaron Ennis as a mandatory. Will he do it? Probably not. However, if what he says is he wants the big fights that everybody's interested in, it's not going to be Stanionis. More than likely, it's not going to be Keith Thurman. However, what will most likely transpire? Terence Crawford will take a fight with somebody not named Jaron Ennis and not named Jermell Charlo if over a year goes by and he wants to stay active if he beats Errol Spence Jr. in a rematch. But anyway, just want to lay the politics of the matter down. You guys can call it hate if you want, but you can also call it logical and a whole lot of common sense. Looking at how boxing usually plays out, that more than likely is what's going to happen. But anyway, that's my take in the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.